Greetings, beautiful beings. I am Melissa Knight. This is SOAR, Sacred One, Amplify Your Roar. I am an oracle, an Akashic practitioner, a light worker, a shaman, an energetic healer. I am here to help others find, rediscover, connect with, and amplify their light and their roar. The roar is about repurposing, recycling, and reclaiming righteous rage. We've all been through things. We've all been trampled upon, we've gone over things and under things and been run over and flattened, in fact, or so we thought. But we got up. And then what did we do? Did we really get up fully? Did we reclaim our position and our trajectory that we were on for our life? Did we find our life purpose? Did we learn how to find and light our light for the world? I'm here to help you do that and to bring some other people along who are also excited about helping you to do that. In this show, I'll be joined by artisans, artists, healers, practitioners of all types, shamans and curanderos, medicine women and men, Akashic practitioners and Reiki practitioners, pranic healers, cranial sacral. My job, as I see it, is to prepare you and to equip you with the tools that you need, because we each have to have our own sacred medicine bag. We never know when someone we encounter will need our sacred medicine or help finding their own. That's what this journey is all about. It's about finding a tribe, building a community, setting a stage globally for connection, unification, love, and healing, radical healing, because it's absolutely time that we, each of us, reclaim our true selves, reach for our highest and truest selves. I'm ready. I am. Are you? Let's go. Let's soar together. Welcome back to another episode of SOAR with Melissa Knight. I am so happy to have joining us today Sky Kelly and Dan Vasquez, and they are with Heal One World. It's an exciting show, and I'm so glad that you're here with us. Let's get started. Hey.
Hey.
Thanks for being here.
So happy to be here.
I was so thrilled when I walked into your place the other day, and just it felt so warm and welcoming, and I had no idea it was in town, and to know that you've been doing this work in LA and now you're here. Tell us what brought you here.
Sure. Well, Heal One World founded in 2009, and down in LA we've been offering these free classes. It's been going amazingly, and my personal life kind of led me in a sneaky little direction up to Fresno, which has a reputation, and I was a little afraid of coming up here and starting something new here, but it's been so amazingly well received. But it was my journey, and with my fiance Paul, who's a veteran, and he came up here because of his family. So
what is Heal One World?
Heal One World is a place where anyone can seek out an alternative or non-traditional self-care, pretty much. We have yoga classes, Tai Chi, meditation, and then it started because when I was 19, I was in a car accident, and I was pretty much completely disabled on my right side. I couldn't use my right side. And in fact, I had numerous surgeries, and I was told that I was basically, I should be ready to be on disability my entire life, and maybe if I'm lucky I can be like a ticket taker.
Oh no.
That was my aspiration. So I didn't like that very much, and
Not a happy prognosis.
no.
No hope in that.
No, it was, and I was not about to accept that
Right.
without inquiry. So I found these modalities. So before finding yoga or meditation, Tai Chi, I wasn't really able to even do that at the point I was at. So I found people who did these really odd sounding modalities, kind of like massage, but not massage, craniosacral. So it's like what it sounds like, you're working from the cranium to the sacrum, and Feldenkrais, which is including all the different fascial releases and things like that. That's what helped me, and it was amazing. And I lived in the car with my mom, so I was homeless after the accident.
Oh my goodness.
And our cat. And so I didn't have money. So I looked for resources when I found that these modalities helped me, and there weren't any. So we were really, I had privilege, and I had, you know, my mind was still working fairly well. So I was like, hey, I'm going to try and barter with people. And I was able to find people who could help me. And I said to myself, if I get out of this, I have to start something to help people the way I found my way out. So that is how Heal One World came about.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that story. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
That's so beautiful. So how many folks are you serving, or how many folks are you planning on serving? How many practitioners do you have, or are you bringing in?
Well, down in
How
LA,
does it work?
we've served over 40,000 people.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we, like up here, we also hope to work with organizations. Down in Los Angeles, we worked with numerous organizations, the largest one being the Venice Family Clinic, which is the largest free clinic actually in the country. So and I've had 200 volunteers doing all different modalities, and lots of yoga teachers, meditation teachers, but also people, practitioners and acupuncturists. And so coming up here, we don't have a giant facility or anything like that, but we do offer classes at the Woodward Park Library, at the VFW, and down in the VA on Clinton. So our reach is pretty far, and we offer that to other organizations just to come in and offer free classes. So I'm hoping for, you know, thousands, and those thousands can even teach at home. Like, we're not about, you know, we want people to come in and buy things from us, or, you know, we just want the wellness to spread. So
That's amazing. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I definitely want to come in and offer some Akashic readings
that would
and
be
classes
amazing.
there. The space just feels so welcoming and loving, and
Yes,
the
thank
energy
you.
is just beautiful. It really is.
Thank you. It is
Thank you for
actually.
creating this.
Thank you. And it wasn't. I wasn't sure it was going to come about, but as we talked about, like, spirit kind of found the way, because awesome landlords who I said, this is our budget, and they allowed for us to have the space. So it's really
was meant to
awesome.
be.
Absolutely.
I definitely want to know the story of how the two of you met, and how you came to, because you're from Fresno, Dan.
Yes.
And you went to LA and came back, and as a
Absolutely.
Tai Chi instructor, and tell us your story.
Well, I've always wanted to learn martial arts since I could remember. When I got to the age of 8 or 9, I started looking for it, and public libraries was pretty much where you could find it, or the school library, but all the good books were always checked out. So, but I always knew that I was into meditation somehow, because I had mentioned this before in another interview. I would get in trouble or be sick, and I'd get sent to my room, and I slept on the upper bunk bed, and I would stare at the little popcorn ceiling, and I would just stare at it and play a game where I wouldn't be able to do it till I would try not to blink, in other words, and then I would start to see like energy. And somehow I knew there was something else to this physical world. So anyway, I eventually, at around the age of 19, I started venturing down to Los Angeles to stay with cousins and to look for my teacher's teacher, the current teacher here in town, who was my Kung Fu teacher. I started learning when I was formally Kung Fu when I was about 13, 1985. And then I ended up moving down there in my early 20s and found the master, learned, and then I discovered the internal martial arts, Tai Chi, Qigong, Bagua, Xingyi. And that was it. I just wanted to learn and practice, and then I did. But eventually, around 2003, I moved back. And then I've just been here for over 10 years, practicing, teaching people here and there. And a couple of months ago, I was telling myself I need to volunteer, you know. And almost the next day, I got a message from a social networking site. And it was a volunteer. They were looking for a volunteer, and I seen it was like Tai Chi, yogis, healers. I was like, hey, that's right up my alley. So I responded, and next thing you know, I heard from Sky. She was in Hawaii at the time, and we exchanged emails. And when she came back, I was there, and I've been trying my best to help as much as I can, trying to be as dependable as possible, because I really do want to give back. I wasn't a very good youth, you know, I was in trouble here and there and stuff, so this is my time to give back. I know this is my path, I've always known, you know, so the martial arts led to healing and teaching people how to keep themselves healthy or their health optimal. So this is it, you know, it's just the straightaway from my life, the final straightaway, this is it. So
the path is what it is, and your youth was what it was so that you could be here at this moment.
Absolutely.
You know, and have that story to tell and inspire others and be in that space of appreciation of what you've learned and how to apply it and how to teach it. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
So when students walk through the door, when people who are in need of healing walk through the door, whether they know what they're coming to get or not, what are they greeted with, and how do you help folks who have no clue, or I'm not sure what that modality is. I don't even know about those modalities. I just heard that this is a healing place. How do you hook them into which is the right type of service, you know, which class to take, or which type of therapy to try?
I mean, just a bit of conversation so I can understand more where they're at. Luckily, being like an empath is very helpful with the healing, and so I also am blessed with the ability to kind of meet someone where they are, so I can kind of be there so they'll feel comfortable. Nice. Sharing where they're at or what they're looking for, even if it's something like I can see something in their body, I'll listen to what they're saying, and then I'll put that together and make a couple suggestions usually, not just like, oh, you have to. I'm not one to kind of be like, well, I have all the answers and this is what you need to do. Sure. Some people really like that or want that, but I like to help people find their way instead of rely on anyone. Absolutely. So someone comes in, I mean, Tai Chi is really honestly kind of a go-to I've found for getting people involved. It's a little easier than meditation for some as far as doing like a moving meditation. It's available to most people no matter their flexibility or their injuries. So likely I will steer them towards something along those lines, but we have those other options. And then the one-on-one healings, I have lots of different modalities that I utilize. So the cranial and the Feldenkrais, but a number of different ones, and lymphatic drainage, and a couple of the other people that are coming in and doing some therapies as well, just sort of feel out what the person's looking for, and then hopefully we can just kind of have them come in one time, sit with them, and go from there.
You're doing walk-ins on classes and that kind of thing, but what about if someone wanted cranial therapy, cranial sacral? Is that walk-in basis or appointment, or?
That is appointment, yes. Yeah.
And how many different people might you see in a day?
So I'm able to see up to 8 or 9 patients in a day, but usually it's not every day of the week, but it's as needed, and so.
It's reciprocal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going out
it is. I mean, when I look at myself in the mirror after I give a treatment, I'm just like, oh wow, like I'm relaxed and glowing, and so are they.
Absolutely.
And it's that, energy.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's the why you do it. You know, it's giving to others and also furthering your journey.
Absolutely. Yeah. The path it's been really interesting, and one other thing that I do actually want to bring up is our film festival that we do. And so my passion, after I found my wellness and I could function, I had kind of a period of like, oh my gosh, I can, like, I'm alive. So I did traveling, moved to Hawaii for a while, became a scuba dive master.
Wow.
And so I did real estate. That's how I could kind of afford to do that. And then a passion of mine is film as well. So I came back and went to school for film while I was still dipping into the healing arts, and founded Heal One World around that same time. And when I founded Heal One World, I had to say what our fundraiser would be. And I was like, I don't want to do a fancy charity dinner because that's silly. Like, I want to do a film festival, not understanding that film festivals are not done to make money. But I created this festival called the Awareness Film Festival. It is down in LA right now, but we're hoping to have maybe some screenings up in Fresno as well. It's 11 days. It's at LA Live.
Oh my goodness.
We show 200 films. So it's pretty exciting. And that's another way I get to engage and kind of fulfill that passion of mine, which is film, along with the healing, so you can put it together.
So are they feature films, documentaries? It's awareness films.
Yes,
Awareness Film Festival.
Exactly. It just has to bring awareness to something, but we even do music videos, PSAs, but mostly documentaries, but feature or short length, and then narrative films as well that tell those stories. Student films, up to 200. So we're showing a lot.
Producer probably has a couple of things that she'll want to submit.
Yes, I mean every kind of human rights and environment, health, spirit. Like if you go and check out the festival site, you can see all the different kinds of films. So.
Wonderful. We'll put that up for the audience, definitely. That's
Thank
really
you.
neat. That's a different take on a fundraiser for, and you're right, you don't see that very often.
No.
It's a huge undertaking.
It is. And as it turns out, now we do actually do a gala dinner during the festival honoring, like last year we had animal activists that were honored, and it's a vegan event. And so I kind of learned that, I'm going to have to throw in that little aspect anyway, because that's where you can actually fundraise most effectively, and that Awareness Festival has actually kind of taken its own life as, a movement, and not as much a fundraiser of its own. Yeah.
Sure. What time of year is that?
October.
Okay.
So this year it's October 5th to the 15th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very
Thank
nice.
you.
And the Tai Chi, and your path with martial arts, what does it do for a person?
Well, if you study Qigong and Tai Chi with the right teacher, you will learn about the meridian system and the 5 elements, which is the theory of the organs being connected to each other and stimulating each other. What that leads to is the ability to feel the energy. After so many years, you'll feel it. You'll know that these meridians are real. And so with the knowledge of the main meridians and the 8 extra meridians, I was able to I actually step back a little bit. I actually studied Reiki because I started to manifest Qi in different various parts of my body that could follow my mind. Now, I was thinking, how am I going to tell people about this? They're not going to just say, okay, Qigong, what is that?
Yeah.
So I started looking up Reiki, and I was like, wow, that's a nice modality. I can probably use that as another modality to kind of merge the Qigong with it. And I did. I went down south to Southern California to visit a Kung Fu brother of mine, and he introduced me to an elder classmate of mine who was with the master before I was around. And he wanted to trade. He's a Reiki master, so he said, I'll teach you, train you, certify you if you give me the upper level sets that you have.
Nice.
So we did. I was down there for a couple weeks, and he attuned me, came back, and I had a spiritual cleanse.
Nice.
It was amazing. For about a week, I was just walking on air. But since then, that was a few years ago. Now it's way more. And when I get my Reiki Master certification, they say it's going to be way more. But so now I have a modality that I can kind of use along with the meridian system. And if you study Reiki, you'll know that they follow a lot of the main meridians. It's just indirect. They just don't say what it is, what the postures are, the placing of the hands. So I have my own modality. I've tested it on friends, relatives, and even friends of friends. You know, somebody was hurting somewhere one time. A friend of a friend had a sprained ankle, And I just showed up one day, and I just kind of just started. I was like 3 or 4 feet away from his ankle, and he was like, "Oh wow, what the heck is this? This is that chi stuff, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's chi." He was like, "I never believed in it, but I do now. I just
Right.
can't explain it, but I believe in it." And that was that. But it works. My mother, I have to be careful with her, because sometimes I'll execute her. You know. So
It's powerful.
yeah, I don't touch. I hover, and then it makes your stomach start growling or whatever. You feel it in your eyes and head and stuff. So I just follow the meridians. But it was because of qigong, and then all the literature and documentaries, anything I could learn, I did to teach myself about it, because I wanted to really know it. And with that, I just came up with my own modality. And it's, I don't diagnose, I don't do anything. I don't promise to cure or treat anything. I just give a full body treatment of the meridians, and that's that. Like Sky said, you feel way better.
Right.
You don't get drained because you're channeling it through you, through them, and then into the earth. So you're doing everything. It's a win-win-win for everybody.
Absolutely.
You get stronger
Right.
as you go.
As does Mother Earth. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. She loves it, and
Absolutely.
I love it. And any chance I get, I'll do it, because I know, we're all gonna win. We all feel good afterwards. You get better and better and better. So yeah, that's my final path. Is healing. The martial arts were intended. Qigong, Tai Chi Chuan were intended for health. They weren't
Absolutely.
intended for killing or hurting. So I've went full circle. I started, and now I found it. It's about healing in the end.
It is.
But it's not the end. It's just the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's so once you can feel the chi in your body, and
Yes.
it's a transformative experience. It really
Absolutely.
is. And
Yes.
just energy. Once we recognize how powerful our energy is, we get really protective of it, and really specific about how we share it, and having better boundaries about not allowing folks to just kind of drain our energy, because it's our life force,
Yeah.
and it's something that we have the ability to share with others freely and specifically when requested. And I mean, it's
Absolutely.
a beautiful gift
Yes.
to be able to control one's own energy and manifest.
Absolutely. The law of attraction, I believe that is what's led me to Sky, is believing and knowing that I am who I am, and I'm going to do what I came here to do. And that's it. You just
Right.
think it, and bam, it's there.
And and I think I hear in between the lines of what you're saying, something that I think many of us in this path and journey struggle with. We find what works for us. We find our way to all of this information, and a sense of needing to do personal healing work, and then finding that and wanting to share it. And we still dance around this, what do we call ourselves? Do we own that sense of, I'm a healer? This is who I am, and this is what I came to do. That's such a difficult thing for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was difficult, and I believe that there's a resistance against it, that will try to stop you when you're just about there. And maybe this goes back to previous lifetimes, but I know that there is another side and a resistance, and they've been trying to wash me down the water spout, if you will, every chance I get. Every time I get to the top, even as a teenager, I reached a certain level accidentally, because I didn't have a guide in my meditation.
Sure.
I kind of went my own way after I learned Zen, and I was having out of bodies and channeling like beings and stuff. So I didn't know who I was. I was scared, but now I know. And then, once you've learned about the waves of indigos that have been coming
Right.
here, whether you're a first wave or second wave or a crystal, child.
Right.
So, yeah, I
There's-
fit all the symptoms.
Yeah, there's so many things that happen that people don't know exactly what that is, and whether or not people that you might say it to are going to think, "Oh, you're crazy,"
Yeah.
and so it's
Absolutely.
very you learn to, let me see if I should tell this person, or let me try to figure this out on my own, and what else can I read, and
Yeah.
the 2 or 3 people that you might know that I think they might know something about it, then you kind of gravitate there and to just
Absolutely.
navigate. And
Yeah.
that was one of the things that I wanted to do with having the show is create a place where folks could tune in and hear from different people and their experiences and see themselves in that and go, okay, there are people who are having the same kinds of experiences. There are people who have figured out this path. There are people who can help me along this path.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The different spontaneous things that happen, the channeling and going, okay, wait a minute, what was that? Yeah, there's so much.
There's a lot.
And I think in the
yeah.
work, when you're working with people on your table or even in classes, when you're engaging spirit, when you're saying, I'm open and I'm ready and yes, and what I call the lean in, the more we say yes, the more we get, right? I'm sure you've had some experiences where people are having those moments of epiphany right in front of you.
Yes. Yeah, it's really, I just try to have the most welcoming energy to this so that people feel safe,
Right.
Because I've definitely seen that. A lot of the work I do is also like somatic emotional release, people going through traumas,
Yes.
and just kind of everything coming together in that moment because there's a homeostasis that their body
Sure.
finds, and then that sort of like opens their mind to like putting the pieces together, I guess.
Yes.
And that definitely happened for me while being treated myself, and so it's awesome. And I think I was pretty scared when I first sort of realized, like, wow, this is like, I can really help people. People don't need surgery, and I'm helping.
Right.
Like what? But now doing it for so many years and having the same responses from people, I'm just kind of comfortable with it. I don't like to go around spouting about it, and I think I've had it personally, and maybe Dan kind of struggled with this too, because then when we met, he was just like, yeah, it wasn't about the money, right? So for me, I just am uncomfortable with money along with it. I know money is necessary to live and to help other people, but I don't want to not help someone if they can't afford it, which has been, but it's a struggle. Like just even down in LA, to find practitioners who are willing to do things on a sliding scale or free, extremely difficult.
Wow.
And you would think like, oh, but people are, and yoga teachers much easier to find for there's the seva, and it's within what they're taught. But yeah, so that's, we found each other so we can give back and be comfortable with our gifts, I think. And
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think you'll find, I'm so glad that you're in Fresno, I think that you will find there are so many people who are willing to give of themselves and their energies and their gifts. One thing that Fresno is definitely known for is generosity. So
I found that.
I think you're going to have more than enough practitioners to fill all the classes for the students who are going to show up at your doorstep. So
Awesome.
thank you so much for being here today. I really enjoyed the information, and I know our audience will too. Thank you for joining us, and I hope that you will definitely reach out and go to some classes and learn about some different modalities and try them at Heal One World here in Fresno. The information will be available to you, and you'll be able to contact our guests from today and avail yourselves of these wonderful services. The energy that goes out from them every single day, and all the practitioners at Heal One World really does heal the world. Thank you.